In a small, crowded town lived a young woman named Amara. She wasn't rich. In fact, most days she barely had enough for herself. She sold homemade bread and snacks by the roadside just to survive. Pause. But Amara had one habit nobody could understand. She always gave. If a hungry child passed by, Amara shared her bread. If an old woman had no money, she quietly packed food for her. If someone cried, she listened. If someone lacked, she helped, even when it cost her something. People laughed at her kindness. Background voices: "You give too much. You'll remain poor forever. Kindness doesn't pay bills." Narration: but Amara would only smile and say, "God sees every seed." One rainy evening, business was terrible. Amara had only one loaf of bread left, the last thing she could sell to buy dinner. Pause. As she packed her table to leave, she noticed an elderly man sitting under the rain, shivering and weak. He looked exhausted. Amara: "Sir, have you eaten today?" The old man slowly shook his head. Amara looked at the loaf in her hand. It was all she had. For a moment, she hesitated. She was hungry too. But then she remembered something her mother once told her. Mother's voice, soft echo: "When you give from abundance, it is kindness. But when you give from little, it becomes sacrifice." So Amara carefully wrapped the bread and handed it to him. "Take it. You need it more than I do." The old man looked at her with teary eyes.
"May heaven remember you."
That night, Amara went home hungry, but peaceful. She slept without knowing that her kindness was about to change her life forever. The next morning, Amara arrived at her roadside stall and froze. A black SUV was parked nearby. Narration: two well-dressed people stepped out and approached her. "Are you Amara?" Confused, she nodded. They explained that the elderly man she helped was the founder of a large food company. He had been traveling secretly, searching for someone trustworthy to manage a charity project feeding widows and orphans. Out of everyone he met, only Amara gave without expecting anything in return. One of them looked at her and said, "He said you have the kind of heart money cannot buy." Then they handed her documents. The company wanted to sponsor her business, build her a bakery, and place her in charge of the charity foundation. Amara burst into tears. The same people who once mocked her now stood in shock as trucks arrived with equipment and supplies. Within 1 year, the little roadside seller became one of the most loved women in the city. Not because she became wealthy, but because she never stopped giving. And everywhere she went, Amara told people, "Nothing given with love is ever wasted. God has a way of sending blessings back bigger than we imagined." Sometimes the smallest act of kindness becomes the seed for the biggest miracle.